get job results. Yeah, so we're going to have it serve as a real-time job hunting aggregate board. My course, if you are into this kind of stuff, I have a course, brand new, over 8 hours of NA10 stuff. So there we take things that we build here and automate them in sequences and pipelines, and yeah, it's good. And there I give away the whole pipeline kit just like this. So this next tool, so on my quick demo tester canvas, VIA has some email, like LinkedIn tools that are, so we're bringing in LinkedIn. That's another thing to keep in mind if you're wondering how all these different like services, why they're needed. So we have ability to do a lot of LinkedIn work off of like Rapid API or it's a different, we can scrape LinkedIn and get results from it. Now Composio LinkedIn is something we do when me or you as a person or the company, as if whoever is connected an OAuth specifically to that account, we're doing actions that are agentic executions on behalf of kind of thing, right? So for us here, I have, so let's type in. So as you can see what I'm doing, as I'm in the custom tool selector, the benefit of building out your really powerful, I go through a whole long bit of Rapid API where most of the APIs come from here. So everything from just basically everything that's behind, like when your account stuff, to scraping all sorts of different things. But yeah, you want to have a good ability to develop custom tools fast, because no matter how good things like eggs and all these Firecrawl and LLM as services get, you're still often not going to get better results than from basically something that's direct from the source, done by a scraper that's fully authorized and packaged to do it, or it's direct from, if it's account info. So we want to be close there. I have a library that now I am able to pick and choose building a new agent. All right, so if it's going to be a finance one, then it's boom, there's an available list, right? And all of these tools are just essentially a quick script of code that allows us to call that resource. So whether it's, all these other tools are doing the same thing. So essentially we're calling as many APIs as possible. Every single one of these things that goes out is going to be some API work. Yeah, it's nice to be able to, and as we're doing this, you see me setting or searching for things, because this is obviously, what I was going to also mention, is my kind of personal approach and assistance, right? And it is my firm opinion that the reason why Agentics is really starting to take off, yes, and there's a lot of good stuff, but the reason that Agentics can fail you and not get you the assistance that you want and need is because we need our stuff within that context, right? So this tool agent can be an executable that's manual at first, right? We are all used to it as either texting it or just having a conversation with it. But this tool agent can also be scheduled on repeatable loops. So think, like ChatGPT's recent tasks and operator features. So this executable needs to be us in order to be useful. And the more generalities that it has, which is like a Google search, right? The Google search is going to get you the same info. There's nothing proprietary or stuff like that. So when you go on Rapid API and you basically build your stack around different services, they all have, it's a marketplace of 30,000 plus APIs, recently acquired by Nokia, and just one of the oldest and most solid brokerages of any type of data that you need, kind of thing, in a perfectly kosher way. So in the course, we build out a stack that uses 8 different APIs from there. Lots of stuff. So back to our build here, we have now the ability to make it really specific. So that's where I was going with that. So now we add these custom tools and only provision what you're going to use and need. So since we're looking at a use case from my tool set, that's great, but it probably could be completely useless to someone else or just partially useful. So as developers or product creators or founders, it is our responsibility to build this stuff useful to the specific user. So Agentics will potentially fail you or us, or when it's provisioned too little, or it somehow is not able to access and do what it needs to do. That's a problem. So definitely want to be able to, Let's do the next tool. We're gonna say gather. So we have a tool that's gather domain intelligence. So if we give some domain doing company research, it taps a special endpoint and conducts like a whole comprehensive report. Then we're going to say email. So if you don't have these tools, and if you're now following along and you have an empty library there and wondering what's going on, just reach out. Leave a comment. I know this is like the gold mine, right? Because that tool also essentially can just transferable across. You just have to rewrite, but a function is a function. And to be able to, at least you don't have to have 300 by no means, but if you have a project or specific thing for your needs, this is meant to be a tutorial for I want to have the most powerful agent of working for me right now as possible. So these tools, if you have nothing there, just reach out. I have obviously all of these. Most of them, honestly, I can open source, or not even really open sources. It's just this. The code is so basic. I wouldn't consider it something even to close source potentially. But if you if you're watching this and you're building these things, you want to have a good working knowledge. So whatever in Flowise we use fetch specifically for this, just a really clean, customized yet still super accessible approach, and we don't really have too many issues. So when the parameters are set correctly, the description prompt covers everything. Custom tools are just flawless. So something to think about, right? Okay. So we have email to LinkedIn, which there basically conduct LinkedIn to profile connection. So if you have somebody's LinkedIn or email, then they can associate that. So if you're doing I think we are going to do some lead research work. Okay. So then let's do, so as you see me going here, I'm just going from a list. If you're setting up one of these and if you do have a bunch of tools already, then follow along and add the tools and build just your specific thing. So in this case, I'm trying to make like a super executive assistant where has agency, not fully autonomous on timed loops yet and this and that, but pretty adequate at just me checking in. And as we even go through we'll see that already happening in its creation. Get email to profile connection, get company URL. Actually, sorry, this next one. You know what? I think I know. Get company by URL. So I'll attach this tool, and for example here we could see its description depending what your level of experience is, but in its most fundamental terms, this description is the core prompt, the directive, and our tool library it's an attached list. It's a JSON object, but it's something that the agent can refer to and infer from at any given time. So whatever tools we provision and give it access to, and then these things like this as custom tool function calls an API that retrieves valuable data points using a company's LinkedIn URL. Use this tool function. By the way, this is the actual prompt, and if you're wondering or how these should be written, I don't know, I think I've developed a pretty effective way in the sense that at least it never fails, just because of how literal and detailed you have to be. And when you are very meticulous here, it's a very good experience. And I've definitely been not before and then been burned, of course, by trying to call that tool but we shouldn't see that. I didn't run into any issues on my practice run, but all right, so get company by URL, expand, let's just bring them all out. Yeah, so company by URL, search job listing. Okay. This next one will be get job results from okay, so there's a couple of providers, and these are the APIs that I'm referencing, specifically which are the subject of the course, the NA10 Automation Foundations. But yeah, we have here the ability to select what it is that we need. So we will use all three. And then one provider is LinkedIn that has MTN. Yeah, so we can get even things like hiring team emails. Yeah, so the course is really good if you're working with any kind of job hunting, recruiter solutions, or building for that. Kind of the stuff that's shows there is pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, we have job listing details. So as you can see, I'm just, depending on the functionality that I'm building, essentially what we want this agent to do for us, we're picking this out of a locker of all these. So if I want to have an agent and be my news thing and just dedicated everything, and I have a news from Bing trending, every kind of like specific thing. That's what I want to make the point here, is that custom tools, you can have up to 120 total tools per canvas as of at least January 2025, and maybe that limit will soon be huge and bigger. But for now, I think it's around, we're seeing if you have a personal one of these, basically 50 to 100 or 50 to 80 tools is probably plenty and great. So you have Composio to handle your account work, your Retriever to handle your memory, advanced knowledge gathering kind of thing from the chain tool, all the basic stuff, and then whatever kind of customizable tool libraries. So let's do a couple more here for our testing. So now it's not MTN. So I'll just say JSearch is one provider. Oops. Oh, where did it go? JSearch. Yeah, get job results from JSearch API. Then we also have a jobs API. So essentially they're like aggregator and scraper. So let's see, jobs API. Yeah, so job results. So mostly focusing on just, so if the use case here would be you need an agent and your users are looking for work, and they're fine with asking a chat message and saying, I want 100 job listings that are perfect, what the course provides, but in automation form. But you're able to then use these, as I mentioned earlier, really powerful packaged aggregator services that kind of let you really, just not worry about, am I getting everything? Like, yes, when you query hit these and everything checks out, especially then if you combine it with the automation pipelining way of this, you're going to get product manager role in San Francisco. You're going to get a ton of results. And if you filter and query only by the stuff that came out 3 days ago, or sometimes you have 24 hours or 7 days, so it's all the actual like juicy latest stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna connect these now. Okay, so in the reference here I have, so you see me dragging things over. If you're very technical and code oriented, then this method can be just employed within raw LangChain executable. But there is also something special about being able to do these things visually. And we'll see. Okay, email to LinkedIn, profile connection. So these are, so it's Let's say one other thing that we will be working with, and if you are again already working with stuff like this, or so let's do that now actually. Yep. So I'm gonna drag and search post generate humanized